All right, Shalom, giving all praise to Yahweh Shemel Shah, them honors to the elders of GMS who rule well. Salutations to y'all came out there pushing this word in truth and sincerity. Coming back at you with another one, man. As you can see, the time is getting close. The time is at hand of these things, man, that's been written about in the scriptures. So I'm going to start off with Habakkuk 2:1. I will stand upon my watch and will set me upon the tower, and I will watch to see what he will say unto me, and what I shall answer when I am reproved. And the Lord Yahweh answered me and said, write the vision and make it plain upon tables, that he may run that readeth it. Right, so the vision is these visions, literally a vision that the ancient prophets received of what's the future, you know. So what they did was they made it plain upon tables. They wrote it down exactly how they seen the vision. So we can run that read it, and we run with the wisdom and spread it to others. So the article I found on the dailysheeple.com, it says a world war might sound crazy, but it could be America's last act of desperation, right? Because if you know anything about America's history, it's that in order to get out some type of debt, America went to war. So the only other way out of this debt, this $21 trillion debt that this country's in, has to go to war. You see, it has to hit a lick, it has to rob somebody. So we're going to just read a little bit of it, maybe 2 paragraphs, and if you brothers want to read, you can find it on this website. So it says, though some have been warning about the catastrophic potential for a third global conflict for years, it wasn't until recently that these warnings became more mainstream, right? Because the elders, our elders at GMS, has been warning of this catastrophic before some of us were even born, you know. So now it's becoming more mainstream because now the prophecies are speaking. The calamitous nature of the violence in Syria, which has one nuclear power defending a government that has been the target of a regime change operation led by the world superpowers, combined with 2017's threat of fire and fury, which was a threat sent by North Korea. Reading on, again against another state intently pursuing a nuclear weapons supply of its own, has pushed the issue of a third world war directly into the public discourse. Right, so now people are becoming more aware of Third World War, World War III. So while certain hotspots throughout the Middle East, Asia, Eastern Europe, i.e. Ukraine, have seen some notable escalations in the last few years, a direct conflict between Russia and the United States is still yet to emerge. That's because the idea of a third world war in today's world is completely insane. If the two countries that currently possess the world's greatest supply of nuclear missiles go to war, there may not be a world left for the victors to inhabit after the war is done, thereby making it an unthinkable proposal, which we know the scriptures say that after this war, Jacob is going to come into power. Our people, Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, are going to come into power. So we know, then again, the U.S. did just recently bomb a significant number of Russian-linked forces in Syria, reportedly killing scores of them. The target of these airstrikes were also predominantly Iranian-backed militias. So America essentially killed Iran's soldiers, just in case, in parentheses, just in case there weren't enough state actors already involved in the ongoing conflict. Right, so now America just recently, killed some Iranian soldiers. So now it's like, it's really time to gear up for war. Essentially is what the news is saying. And I'm not going to really read that much. It goes into how Trump recently just fired his old general of war because he wasn't hard enough against coming against Iran. So the new guy is like really really against Iran, and it's going to make known their presence in Iran, which according to the scriptures, once America does that, uh, Russia and China is going to get involved. So this is Habakkuk 2 and 3. For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but in the end it shall speak and not lie. Right, because the vision that the prophets received, it wasn't for that time. So they didn't get it. They didn't understand it because they couldn't see it. But at the end, it shall speak and not lie. Right. So now that we're closer to the end, it's speaking and now it's becoming true. It's not a lie anymore. Though it tarry, wait for it. Yeah, because it took thousands of years before things that was written before to actually manifest, So though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come, it will not tarry. Right. So now it's here. Now it's here. There's no more waiting for it because now it's here. Our salvation is near and what we believe. Verse 4. Behold, his soul which is lifted up is not right in him. Speaking about Esau, his soul is not righteous. It's a wicked soul and it's lifted up, with pride, whether just shall live by faith, of course, children of Israel. Verse 5, yea, also because he transgressed by wine. The wine there is talking about his philosophies, his parabolic talk. It's talking about his way of life, his way of thinking. He is a transgress. So he transgressed by wine. He is a proud man. Yeah, he's proud. He's proud. Donald Trump is the face of pride. Neither keepeth at home. He's in everybody's land, telling them what to do. Sending peace keepers, but starting wars. So neither keepeth at home, who enlarges his desire as hell, and as his death, it cannot be satisfied. Yeah, like death, it consumes everything and it doesn't discriminate. So, like Esau, the Caucasians, is as death, cannot be satisfied. They want everything. But it also says, but gathereth unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people. Right, that's a NWO, New World Order. And that's that whole goal of trying to establish that. What Russia and China and all the other superpowers are giving America trouble. You see, verse 6. So now all these take up a parable against him, and a taunting proverb against him, and say, uh, woe to him that increaseth that which is not his. How long? Right. So that's going to be a proverb and a parable that people are going to speak against Esau. Because everything he's gotten, but it wasn't his. You see. So the question is, how long? Key is how long. Very shortly, it's coming to an end. To him that ladeth himself with dead clay, and the Hebrew is a batya, meaning debt, thick debt. And that's why we're $21 trillion in debt. And this is the vision. This is the vision that was yet for an appointed time. And now we see. This is verse 7. Shall they not rise up suddenly that shall bite thee, and awake that shall vex thee, and thou shalt be for booties unto them? Right, because these nations are about to rise up and spoil you, and take this country. So verse 8, because thou hast spoiled many nations, all the remnant of the people shall spoil thee, because of men's blood, and for violence of the land, of the city, and of all that dwell therein. Right, because the violence, because you have robbed many nations. The people are gonna finally come up and go to war against you. So read the title again. A world war might sound crazy, but it could be America's last act of desperation, and it will be. You know, this act, um, you know, America needs this war to get out of this financial war that it's in, and it will, but it's going to be to destruction. You see, So a third world war might sound crazy, but it is the only craze if we fail to understand the desperation that continues to plague the men in suits who pull the strings guiding American foreign policy. You know, so keep up with the news. Get the news at thedailychivo.com. Stay tuned to that. Yeah. So with that, shalom.